Hello, everybody, and welcome to the SOGOpod. I'm Kinder.
And I'm Frank.
Brought to you in part by Leave Me a Song.
Alright, so welcome to the SOGOpod Presents Dudes Gaming Edition, is just kind of what we're calling this.
Yeah.
It's about video games and related things. It's like half of a rap song. Couldn't work that out.
Yeah.
It's like
Just
video
take that and,
games
like,
and
auto-tune it.
related things.
You just take that and auto-tune it.
Yeah. Put some beat
And then
on
put
it.
the, before you start with your actual video game shit,
yeah.
I have something kind of video game related.
Okay.
I re-downloaded the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World soundtrack.
Oh, yeah?
And I actually bought that soundtrack some time ago from Amazon Music, of all places.
It's a good soundtrack.
Oh, it's an amazing soundtrack. Just fucking Amazon Music is awful. It's fucking terrible. You have to download a completely separate utility to download the music.
Yeah, they're bad about that kind of stuff.
It's ridiculous.
Like, they have the Amazon App Store for Android, but you have to download a separate app that is not in the App Store. You have to go to their website to get the app, to download the apps from the App Store.
Anyway, I re-downloaded it and started, jamming again. And there's like 5 or 6 tracks on there that are just really good.
Yeah.
There's track 1, which is the intro song for the movie. It's probably my least favorite of the 5 big good tracks.
Yeah.
Blisters, one that goes blisters.
Yeah.
Blisters. Yeah, that's really good. The one that in the movie, the one that in the Clash of Demon Head sings.
Yeah. Oh no, sad.
They have that one. That's actually a full track by itself. So sad. They have the intro too. That I'll call that song and their actual song, "Crashing the Boys." I'll call that one a good one too.
Yeah.
Garbage Man. There's actually 6 good tracks.
Well, the Beck song's good. Ramona. It's a good Beck
I'm
song.
not big on it.
Well, you're probably not really a huge Beck fan though. So.
It's all right. I mean, they got some good stuff.
Yeah. Well, he's got some good stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. And then possibly the best track on the album, what was it? About you stupid stereo putrid. Threshold.
Yeah.
Threshold, that's it. That song is so fucking catchy. And then they've got the bit track version, or 8-bit version. It's really good too, except for like some minor like weirdness in there. There's like some weird high pitched like extra noises. Overall, it's
just some sine waves.
Really good soundtrack though. If you haven't picked it up or anything, I highly recommend it. But speaking of like, getting into the video game part, the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World video game is actually really fucking good. Have you ever played it?
Yeah. I played a little bit of it.
Oh man, I got it on. It was like my first Xbox arcade purchase. I think it was the first one I ever bought, and it was just such a good fucking beat 'em up. It's Streets of Rage, but better. Well, I don't know what better, but
I don't know if it's that difficult. I'm not a huge
I don't
brawler
know.
guy.
I mean, it's got a difficulty level that kind of scales with you.
It is kind of weird that entire genre like just completely like withered up and dried, and disappeared.
I know, right?
Like that is one genre that very rarely makes a comeback. Like there's a few games they're trying to do it now.
It doesn't work.
There's one that's like called like Mother Russia Must Bleed or something like that. Mother Russia Bleeds or something like that. Looks fucking weird as shit. Looks like a brawler like mixed with Hotline Miami, like Streets of Rage meets Hotline Miami kind of thing.
Yeah.
Trying to just be aggressive and edgy for the sake of being aggressive and edgy.
I don't know if I'm the only one that remembers it, but I seem to remember on the PS1, I think, there was a Streets of Rage comeback, and it was like a 3D, not 3D, but not 3D Streets of Rage. And I only ever played a demo of it, and I never saw it again.
Yeah.
And the demo was pretty fun, but even for a PS1 game, it was really limited.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I guess that's just the way of the genre. I mean, you can only do so much.
There's really, I guess that's the reason why. It's because like every other genre that you can evolve upon it, until it reaches that point. But there's not really much you can do with a brawler.
At some point, a brawler becomes Shadow of Mordor. I mean,
right?
Or Batman.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of good fundamentals that are in a brawler that are exactly the same as any side-scrolling platformer beat-em-up style thing, like an X-Men, like on the Super Nintendo or X-Men arcade game, like stuff like that. Like that is a brawler, but it's more. It doesn't have that same isometric moving in different planes kind of thing. That
there's one X-Men beat-em-up that I've been unable to find. I don't know what it's called. It's X-Men something.
X-Men is probably Spider-Man and the X-Men in Arcade's Revenge.
Spider-Man's not in it.
Damn it.
I do know that you start off on a snow level and with a random character.
Okay.
Is where you start, and then after that you're able to select.
There were a lot of those games back in the day.
I played the Jesus out of that game when I was younger.
Because there's like a bunch of the X-Men beat 'em ups, and then there's the Avengers one.
Which is great. The War of the Gems?
Yeah.
Love the War of the Gems.
And then there's Spider-Man. There's a bunch of Spider-Man. Maximum Carnage, which had a nice little red card. That was pretty good back in the day.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, that whole genre, like, the furthest you can go with it is, like, how far Capcom took it by adding, like, fighting game style moves into the system. Like, that was about as far as you could probably go with it, because there really just isn't much else you can do outside of just making another brawler. The mechanics are just super simple, and trying to expand upon them just doesn't work.
I did play it was back on OG Xbox, I think.
The Club.
It was well, it was, I think, the first Hulk movie, the shitty Hulk movie.
Yeah.
That game. And it was really fun for, like, all of 10 minutes.
Yeah, like, the Hulk Ultimate Destruction game that came out after that one. It came out after the movie, and it was like, everybody was like, this game is amazing. It's only $20. Like, everybody should go buy it. It's one of those, like, back in the day when games would come out for $20, and people would be like, this is a hidden gem. You have to get this.
Yeah.
And that was one of the games like that. And because of how much critical praise it got, and I guess it sold a lot because of that. That those same people are the people that made the game Prototype and Prototype 2.
Never played them.
Prototype is basically Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
Oh.
They're pretty much the exact same game, but because I guess maybe it was an issue with the license, not having the Hulk license, something like that. I don't know, but it just didn't go as far as the Hulk Ultimate Destruction game did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a perfectly fine game. I only played like maybe halfway through it. Didn't really pick it up after that.
Was that the one where you could like pick up cars and shit? And
you could do the.
I think that was the same game I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, because they did have one for the movie that was. It was similar. Like I think there were things in that game that were carried over into Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
Yeah.
But that's the game that made like the big splash with everybody for some reason.
Yeah.
Speaking of big splashes,
let's
talk about
sploosh.
Yes, let's talk about splooshing. Well, this is semi-related to splooshing.
Whip it out.
This is from this is a nice little article that popped up on Kotaku. Thousands of people have watched leaked Fallout 4 footage on Pornhub.
That's brilliant.
Last week, some lucky Gamescom attendees got a chance to see new Fallout 4 footage behind closed doors. Many gaming websites have reported on it, and the new Fallout footage is not a mystery. Thing is, Bethesda hasn't actually released this footage to the world to see. Not that this has stopped some fans from finding creative and sneaky ways from viewing it for themselves. Yesterday, the Fallout Hive went into frenzy as footage from the Gamescom presentation started to leak online. If you were fast enough, you might have been able to watch it on YouTube. As of this writing, though, most of those popular YouTube destinations are dead links. In response, fans have turned to other means of sharing the footage, such as file hosting sites. These too sometimes get hosed or get overloaded with requests, making it difficult to watch the footage, and so Fallout fans have turned to a more unorthodox video hosting services like Pornhub
and Vimeo.
Yeah, Daily Motion.
Oh, God.
Meta Cafe.
To Newgrounds. I actually like Newgrounds.
Titled The video titled "Hidden Camera Shows Audience Teased by Big Butt Man in Tights Live."
That's brilliant.
The 7-minute long video showcases off-camera footage of Fallout 4. Hilariously, it is tagged under categories like big ass POV and homemade. The singular comment on the video reads, "Came all over my monitor." The footage looks like garbage. The recording is clearly taken incognito, which means the leaker couldn't get precious about how they were recording the footage. But this has not deterred people from getting excited about the footage. Anyway, right now the footage has been watched almost 34,000 times, meaning that it has watched 44,000 times on this source alone. Funny enough, though, it's actually one of the better options on the web right now. YouTube's kind of a bust. Downloading rando files from the internet that promise juicy Fallout 4 footage isn't great either. Many websites hosting the footage are rather slow, presumably because of high demand for this footage. Assuming you don't mind dicks and vaginas crowding your peripheral vision or the occasional pop-up, watching the Gamescom footage on Pornhub isn't half bad of a choice. I can't believe I just typed that sentence. Patricia Hernandez words. But yeah, and there's an update as of 8/13 that after a few days, the footage is now finally gone. At last count, I saw that over 200,000 people had viewed the Fallout 4 footage on Pornhub.
Damn.
So yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy how far people will go to look at fucking
pretty awesome
Fallout 4 footage. You know, I read about like I'm excited for Fallout 4. Oh, there's no doubt. I'm excited for it. But it is one of the few games like that, and Skyrim could not care less about footage and articles and stuff about, because I know it's a day one purchase no matter what.
Yeah,
you know, it's
also one of those games that's boring to watch.
Yeah, it's fun to play, you know. And like the reason why I'm so obsessed with all the Metal Gear Solid stuff that comes out, and looking at watching YouTube videos and reading every fucking article I can get my hands on.
I cannot play that game and still come all over myself just watching someone play it because of the story.
Right. There's story elements, there's things I want confirmed, I want to pick up on little subtle things while watching these videos. I'm not so involved in the Fallout lore to be like, oh my god, look at these amazing things that are happening. It's like, no, it looks fucking cool, and I know I'm going to buy it the day it comes out. It's not, I don't need, like, again, same with Skyrim.
It's all about shit you can do, not shit that's going to happen.
Tell me all the things I can do, okay, fine. I was going to buy it anyway, but then when you told me, like, hey, you can build a house, and, like, the weapons crafting system is fucking intense as shit, and you can fucking customize power armor, and getting in the power armor looks cool as fuck, and it ain't just like a suit of armor you wear anymore. It's not just another set of clothes. It's a fucking thing that you get into. You're like, I'm about to get in some shit. I'm going to get in my power armor. You know, like that is cool, because then it's cool, because like I can still play the game as someone who, you know, likes to wear light armor and sneak around, and, you know, I've never really did that in Fallout games that much, but for Skyrim, that's really the way I'd usually go. Sneak around, take out as many people as I can from distance. If I have to get in close, that'll do, but I'm not going to run around. I'm not going to run around in heavy armor with, like, 2 fucking long swords. You know,
that's just, it's not a fun way to play Skyrim.
Right. So, but with Fallout, you know, if I want to be a light armor type person, if I want to do a melee run, I don't have to. You know, the power armor doesn't become the top thing, the only viable option, you know? Yeah. It's a whole secondary thing that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You know.
I always loved the speech runs on Fallout.
Oh, yeah. I fucking New Vegas. God damn it. That game, I have a love-hate relationship with that game. Because, like, I recognize with, like, Brad, for those listening, our friend Brad, he's been on the show before. He loves New Vegas. It is like the best game in the world to him. But, like, I get why he likes it, but I just, like, the first time I played it, this isn't Fallout 3. This doesn't feel like Fallout 3. It's glitchy as fuck. It's buggy as hell. There's all kinds of fucking problems with it. I got stuck in a fucking window. You know, like one of those burned out. Apparently, one of those burned out houses that are just in the wasteland. I was just going through it, and this window is perfectly big enough for me to get through, And I got through until I got stuck in it. You know, I only had that happen like once in Fallout 3, and that was because I was jumping on rubble, and I got stuck between rubble, and I had to throw a fucking Nuka-Cola truck under me to stand up on, and then basically knock myself out.
You know how bad glitching can be, like getting stuck glitching can be. You played Morrowind.
Yeah, that game's all about that.
God forbid if you didn't have a mark and recall spell.
There's a really interesting post that was similar to following on our conversations about Fallout. They were talking about like some people had gotten into the GEC, which is like basically the construction set for Fallout. And they were looking at like stuff from New Vegas, and apparently, when you get into the subway car.
Oh yeah, it's actually made by a person.
Well, it's like they just put a subway on your head.
And didn't they put it on like an NPC's head and just had the NPC run really fast?
Well, that was for when they were making it move, but when you were in it, they just made your head. They didn't even make your head; they made your arms, so you could still move your head around. So this box was basically on top of you, and then it would start moving, and then it would fade to black. But it wasn't like they created this whole system to move this car; they just put it on your head, And there's other things, like they were showing other pictures of like how they kind of cut corners or saved themselves time. Like it was like short shelves in Skyrim. They're only like maybe knee high.
Yeah. Those are
apparently the same as the tall shelves. They just sunk it halfway into the floor.
Of course.
Like shit like that where you're like, oh my god. Like it's what you would do in that situation, especially if you have to build this gigantic handcrafted world. Like you have to do shit like that.
I guess it makes sense. I mean, less rendering power and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Like they put so much effort into building this giant world. Like that's their thing.
Yeah.
And so I kind of just let them slide when it comes to like shit like that. I mean, like
the
general glitchiness.
They didn't outright lie about the features. You're mine.
Yeah. Fucking goddamn it! I don't know. I will say this: there's nobody else who can make a game that retroactively makes other games better. Like, he made Fable 2, and it was like, man, Fable 1 really wasn't that bad of a game. And then when he made Fable 3, you're like, man, Fable 2 really wasn't that bad of a game.
I liked Fable 2. Okay.
Oh, Fable 2 it turned out to be the best one, but it's just like, when you finally got to see how far you could go with changing your character, like they had a post of like all these different characters, like that people had sort of basically just made using the morality system and eating shit or not eating shit, and how many varieties there were in these characters. And I was like, okay, that's because I had a dude who looked like a pirate, and then I went. That was because that was evil, but. That was good but corrupt. You end up looking like a pirate for some reason.
You get like weirdly.
Yeah, you get like jaundiced and like you just look scraggly. Like
you get a bunch of acne.
Yeah.
Mine was evil and pure. So pure evil. I was a vampire.
Yeah, you end up looking like a vampire. But then if you go, I know I went the other way. I was still good, but I went to pure good, and you end up fucking looking like Santa Claus. Yeah. Like it's like I made him super fat, and then like motherfucker looked like Santa Claus.
It's really hard to not get fat in Fable, by the way.
Yeah. It's like in the first game there was only you ended up on one path all the time, and that was the biggest guy, the biggest muscles, the best armor, the best sword. Everybody's character ends up looking the same.
Yeah.
That's really the problem with the Fable games, is that there is an optimal path.
Yeah.
There should not be an optimal path in a game like that. If you start using a sword a lot, you should just become shitty at magic and shitty at archery, not being able to level everything up to the top and be good at everything. Like there should be some kind of balancing there to say, well, if you're going to be really good with a sword, you're not going to be that good with a bow or magic, and you know, all throughout. And then if you want to be good with everything, you're not going to be as good as somebody who's a master of it. Jack of all trades, master of none. Kind of thing. That would be a smart way to do it. But no one ever said Peter Molyneux was a smart man. Well, he's a smart guy.
Well, he did.
Yeah, he probably did. There probably is a quote out there that says, I am a smart man, Peter Molyneux.
I am a smart man, and I know what love is. Or just, I'm a fucking genius, Peter Molyneux.
And I'm sorry.
Speaking of Fable, actually, I know I've discussed this with you, but for those of you who don't know, DirectX 12 is now on Windows 10. Although there are no games that use it yet. The next Fable, I don't know any details about it.
Fable Legends.
I guess that's what it is.
It is both PC and Xbox One, but the PC, I know that the game's the same on both, but then there's a cross-platform play that allows the PC player to be the main bad guy, while the Xbox players are this group of people who are trying to beat him.
That's cool.
I think it's an interesting concept.
That's a real cool concept. What I was saying is...
that's he's not involved with the company anymore, but that is Lionhead Studios.
Yeah.
That style of thinking, down to a T. That's a cool concept.
Yeah.
Let's see how it works.
But it will be the first, as far as I know, the first DirectX 12 game. So expect to see some really nice, cool textures and lighting effects and all kinds of really cool, new, interesting stuff. And a performance boost to boot.
Yeah.
So you may even be able to play this on older hardware.
Yeah.
Especially older hardware that has like 4 and more cores, because it's better optimized for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you should be able to play it on older systems at higher settings. Not necessarily like Ultra or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see like a 6100 series and a 960 probably still being able to get 1080 60.
Yeah.
If not something less. If the benchmarks for DirectX 12 are to be believed, which everywhere that I've seen has really awesome performance increases.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's always it runs on my machine kind of thing. So
yeah, works on my machine.
I
do expect a lot of glitching though.
I guess we do need to talk about Windows 10.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
So I finally got my update. I waited for I went through the system, through the proper channels, waited for them to tell me when it was okay.
You didn't have to.
I know. I wasn't in a hurry, as it were. I will go and say right away, easiest fucking install I've ever had to deal with for anything, especially something as major as updating your OS. Yeah. It was just like, all right, click this. Okay. All right, you want to do custom or express? Custom. I'm going to get rid of all this privacy shit.
Fuck the botnet.
And then it was just like, okay, it'll be done when this bar's full. Okay. Just...
Go have a coffee or something. Jesus.
Yeah, just stop standing around and waiting.
I had the same experience with my laptop going from 7 to 10. But for some reason, my desktop, what was the problem I had?
It was the other hard drives, I think.
Oh, yeah. For some reason, it doesn't like certain USB peripherals being plugged in, like an external hard drive. It doesn't like to install that. It went through the whole install, and then like at the very last part, it failed.
There's a problem. There's a problem here.
So I went through that like 7 times, and then finally, in like the deep ass web, found you try unplugging your extra hard drives.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of information out there about Windows 10 yet about troubleshooting problems. Because the biggest problem I had was I wanted to play some fucking Ground Zeroes. After I installed it, I was like, yeah, fuck it, I want to play some Ground Zeroes. It wasn't really so much because I installed Windows 10. It was because I wanted to play Ground Zeroes. Yeah. And then I started up, and it doesn't fucking work. Yeah. And it's like, it goes, box pops up, screen goes white, dialog box pops up saying, something went wrong.
Broke,
yeah. Like, checking for a solution. And then it just says, yeah, okay, close it up.
Yeah, it did the same thing on me. There's a quick fix you can find.
But yeah, there was just to download these, and it's super sketchy, because like, there's no information out there.
Just like this blank-ass page with some DLL files in the zip folder. It's like, hey, just download
these.
Just
put these
stick
and
them
drop them in the folder. It's okay. But it fucking worked.
Just get it from the Steam forums. It's okay, we promise.
Yeah, everybody said it works, and it's legit, so,
Yeah, we both did it. It works.
It works.
Also, what I was saying with my Windows 10 install problem, if you're having a problem with Windows 10, you can't install it, and you have more than one hard drive, unplug everything except for your main hard drive.
Yeah,
your
what
C
you're
drive.
actually installing too.
Because that was my problem. I have 3 hard drives plus an external. I had to I unplugged all my USB shit and unplugged all my hard drives except for my solid state. And it finally fucking installed. It's a pain in the dick.
Yeah, I mean, you had a lot harder of an experience with it. I mean, I was willing to just let it go and see what happened.
Yeah.
Just to see, just see what happens with it. What's the?
That's what I did though. Up to the very very last screen where it's supposed to boot up and be Windows 10.
Yeah.
Like, it did everything like it was supposed to, and it was all right. Cool.
Of course, this is both of us going from 8.1 to 10. I have heard there are some minor issues going from 7 to 10.
I had no problem on my laptop.
I mean, you said there's no problem. I have heard people say that it might be a good idea to back up your information if you're on set. It's a good idea to back up your information anyway.
Yeah.
But I didn't give a fuck. Plus,
my laptop.
The whole point of this update was to be. The whole point of this upgrade to Windows 10 was to be a smooth experience in general. That's why they did it the way they did it. They made it free. They knew thousands of people who had no fucking idea what they were doing when it comes to installing an OS could do it. So I trusted them to not fuck everything up.
They did a good job. For the vast majority of people out there, it's going to be easy.
I feel like to be honest, Windows 8 was not that bad.
I loved Windows 8.
I think that there's a lot...
8.1, rather.
I think that there are some issues with it that they did fix for 10, but I really do feel like there are people that... It is just this,
the stigma.
This other...
The whole crowd.
There's the beloved OS, and then there's the one that shits on it afterwards, and there's the one that comes along and fixes it. Like, that's their whole cycle.
Yeah.
It's fucking... Especially, it's XP... Vista and Windows 7, and everybody fucking loved Windows 7, and it's Windows 8. Windows 7 so good. Look at this shit. This shit's so stupid.
And I never got that. I mean, I understand. Oh, my start menu. Okay, I figured that'd go away in a week. It didn't.
Well, because start menu is it's as Windows as fucking everything that is Windows. Is like the most Windows thing. Is the taskbar and the start menu.
But I mean, it really made more sense. I mean, once you figured out what was going on, it really did make more sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I had an issue with it for just usability's sake. You want to be able to just have your desktop the way you like your desktop, but then when you click on this thing, you go to this whole other screen that you have really very little control over what it looks like and what it does. It's full of these weird random auto-updating squares, and you're like, what's going on?
Well, you could change those.
You can, but I mean, it's like, it's very unintuitive compared to what everybody's used to when it comes to Windows, which is, there's this wall, you can put your own picture on it, and then there's these little pictures, and you move them around, and they click on them, and they go to things. Yeah. That's what everybody's used to for Windows, and then there's this thing you go to if you want to get the other stuff that isn't on this wall.
But aside from that, I mean, 8.1 was really, to me, better in literally every
Well,
way.
because they made it start on the desktop. That was the big thing for 8.1. Was starting on the desktop and then basically, fixing some of the more problems, like more high level problems that you don't really notice unless you're really into like that kind of stuff. Because there was an issue with 8 of like the app opening as opposed to the program opening.
Yeah, that really did suck. That was one thing that really bugged me was the what's it called, Metro apps.
Metro apps, yeah.
Those were fucking awful. They did
it would make total sense if I had a touch screen, or if I was on a tablet or something like that. It's a very usable interface, no problem. But I have a mouse and a keyboard, and this is not intuitive for a mouse and a keyboard.
Right.
They've had fucking decades of research and development on their Windows style and what works well for a mouse and a keyboard to just throw it all out, which is, it's a crazy risky move, and I applaud them for doing it as a multi-million-dollar corporation, but to throw it all out to say, well, here's this new experience,
Yeah. Aside from Metro apps and Start Menu, though, 8.1 was absolutely faster, much more well optimized especially for multi-core stuff. Better OS all around, other than those two fairly big qualms. 10 so far for me. I love it, but at the same time, I actually miss my 8.1 start menu interface.
Yeah,
I really don't like 10 start menu.
I think it tries to be the best of both worlds, but it just ends up not being, because like
I haven't really gotten in and customized it.
If you pull
like
it
you
up,
should.
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't even really bother with the live tiles, but just opening it up and being like, okay, where do I go for my fucking programs? Like, I'm used to how it's set up on every other one. It's like you click on this, and then you go to this one, and you go to this one. But here it's all in one row. And it's in cascading drop-down kind of style.
Yeah, it's strange. I think you can change it to actual, like,
I'm sure you can, like, just set it up exactly the way you want. Because, I mean, I do like using the Cortana search bar.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because I very rarely, if ever, use a search function or the run function for any other Windows system. Like, I just knew where to go to the control panel. I knew where to click to go to, like, to find stuff. But here it's just like, I need device manager. Device manager. Click. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Which I use that on 8.1 too, but you had to go into the big weird start menu.
Right.
But one thing that I really do really like about 10 is the menu design, especially for like control panel and device manager and everything's been completely revamped. And it looks so clean. It looks so fucking good. Oh my god. As even at 8.1 it looks just like 7.
Yeah.
And 7 looked just like XP.
There's so many things that are just carryovers from the last ones and the last ones. Like,
and they finally redid all that stuff, because that's where I spend a lot of my time building a custom PC, control panel and device manager and everything, because I'm autistic and I do that.
I need to know these things.
And, oh my god, it is so fucking much easier to just find things and not have to Google, where do I go for this?
Right. It's just sitting right there staring you in the face. Or if you have the Cortana, you just say, it is there. And I have yet to delete it, but I will never use Microsoft Edge to search the internet.
I did use Edge, and I applaud them. They did a damn good job. It's not quite Chrome.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Chrome is not that great anyway. Chrome
it's really not. It's a RAM hog, but it's a RAM hog and it's fast.
Yeah, exactly. That's
really all.
That's the trade-off.
If it's got an ad blocker, if ad blocker and fast, that's my two requirements. That's it.
Yeah, and I get it. People need their money for running websites, but don't fucking have obnoxious as shit ads.
Right?
It's a fucking simple solution. People always complain about having ad blocker, or people who run websites who have to rely on those websites to make money have a right to complain about ad blocker and how ad blocker is causing them to lose money.
Yeah.
But if you have an autoplay sound-enabled ad on your fucking website, you are the fucking worst. You have a decision in this. You can talk to the person that you're getting your ads through and tell them you don't want that shit.
There is one other ad type that is worse. There's one. Because I can have my volume down whenever those play. I don't necessarily even notice it if my volume is down.
Right.
But there's these new ones. I think maybe PC Gamer might have them. One of the PC or gaming sites that I browse on my phone a lot has them. And I'll be reading an article, and I'll be, kind of swiping down past a couple of the top ads or whatever to get down to the text. And I'm reading text, and then I swipe, and it slows down. I'm like, what? I swipe, and slowly.
Oh yeah.
This ad comes up and says, "Hi,
fucking worst.
I'm going to tell you to buy bye."
Phone ads are even worse than ones that are on the fucking internet, because like you said, I can have ad blocker when I'm on the computer, but if I don't have ad blocker, and so they have the fucking worst. I don't know if you have this problem on Android, but iOS is full of websites that auto-direct you to apps in the App Store.
Oh, God.
It is the fucking worst. It is like the least Apple thing in the world to have this fucking ad, because it's on everything. It is.
We have the reverse. We have ads within apps that lead to websites.
Right. Yeah. And there are those on, there are those.
And they're always right where you need to click, too.
Right, exactly. But with this, it's like you'll go to a site, and this is when it's the worst. You're on like Twitter, and you open up a website from a link on Twitter, and it opens it up in the Twitter browser within the app.
Yeah.
So instead of opening up Safari, going to a new page, it opens up on the fucking in the Twitter browser. And then as the web page is loading, this ad loads in, and this ad redirects it to the App Store page, which then redirects the whole phone to the App Store app.
Fuck that shit.
Which and then it's automatic, and it's like it's happening. Because the moment it happens, you're like, fuck, no. You're trying to do everything you can to stop it. You hit the home button, you go back to, and by the time you get back to Twitter, because the app redirected you out of Twitter, it's closed the web page.
Yeah.
And you try to click on it again, and it does the same fucking thing over and over again. It's a vicious cycle, and it's just like, well, I should never read anything on my phone.
Yeah. There's a little bit more elegant solution. It's still there for Android, but it's a little more elegant. I mostly get it with like Tap Talk forums.
Yeah.
And actually just forums in general. A couple of them have applications, and you'll open up a web page looking at something.
And so we have an app.
And it'll say, hey, there's an app for this. Do you want to go to the fucking market? I mean, you can. No. Oh, okay, bye.
Well, I mean, Facebook has done a good job where they have had it now where it pops up saying, hey, you're about to leave the app. Do you want to leave the app?
Yeah.
No. But then it's already open, so you still have to hit back. Yeah. So then when you hit back, it takes you back, and then it tries to load again, and so then it just keeps happening over and over again. Yeah. It's like, this is like the worst. This needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
This is something that Apple really should take seriously when it comes to because people are using their phones as their computers now.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to be on my phone 90% of the time when it comes to browsing on the internet, when it comes to getting online and doing anything, and I can't because I'm being constantly barraged of fucking apps, especially of games I already have. You know, like if I'm already playing, like I'll admit it, I've fucking downloaded and played Candy Crush for a bit.
I did too.
I had Candy Crush on my phone at one point, and the fucking thing redirected to Candy Crush.
Did you ever get an ad for Candy Crush in Candy Crush? I did.
I will never play Game of War. No matter how many Game of War apps pop up, I will never play Game of War.
That is the worst game for ads. Jesus Christ.
Every fucking game in the fucking world has Game of War ads. They're so desperate.
Everywhere on Newgrounds, still.
So fucking desperate. Because they were doing we're a strategy RTS thing, MMO thing for the phone. And then they went Every Online or whatever, and full on, come join me, my lord. And with fucking the supermodel lady. And really? This is where you're going? The fucking sex sells route for Game of War?
What really pisses me off is if I was just in the App Store or I saw an article about it or something like that, I'd probably, okay, I'll try a demo or something. But seeing those ads within other games or on a web page or something like that with those shitty fucking cartoony retarded ads makes me think, I'm going to remember this game, I'm never going to play it.
Yeah. I remember when Clash of Clans first came out.
No, there's one of these games that is the worst offender of all. And I don't know what the fuck the game's called because I really just I want it out of my head.
What's the thematic elements?
It's the one. It has a picture. I know you've seen it.
Oh, probably.
It's got a picture of Pokemon Red and Blue, where you're standing in front of the Pokeballs, about to choose, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander.
Right.
And it's got that, and it says 1996, and it has 2000. What year is it?
2015.
2015, and it's got this ridiculously huge-headed Flash character with Animu hair with 3 fucking eggs that are obviously fire, water, and grass with some weird runes and shit and stupid flash lighting effects.
I've seen it. I don't even remember the game. It's one of those many thousands of we're trying to cash in on the Puzzle and Dragons Pokemon style craze.
It's just no. You don't stand where he stood.
You're not him.
You haven't earned it. You have not earned it. Fuck you. Fuck you right in your stupid fucking face, you piece of shit.
They're the fucking worst.
God, that...
Like, and there are some of those games like...
I hate that ad
like
so
Clash
much.
of Clans, when it first came out, it has a unique art style. It's got a interesting concept. And everybody was talking about it when it first came out. It's like, there's this great game. It's crazy that you can do this strategy RTS kind of thing from your phone. And everybody was talking about it. And now they've gone so far into, like, doucheville, not just with ads, but because they're so popular that they're getting into the mainstream. And you know how the mainstream treats things. You know? So it's like goes that far into that territory to where it's like, now I will never touch this thing ever again. Doesn't matter how good it is, I will never touch this.
All right, you had something else, didn't you?
Yes, I guess we're just not going to worry about taking a break. Because it's already 10:19. Yeah, we can just go ahead and knock this out and we'll do it in the episode.
All right.
No breaks. All right, so a couple of days ago, GameStop, power to the players.
GameStop.
The website that sells video games through their brick and mortar stores.
Brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar. They had updated their information for Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
The best game.
The best.
It's not even that bad. It's awesome.
It's probably going to be the best game ever made.
You just make sure you put some echo on this. The best game ever. Just echo out.
Anyway, they updated their information, and while I can't actually find an article about it, the information came from Yang Yeah. He's an awesome YouTuber. Check out his stuff if you're really interested in
Who's it?
theory crafting for Yang Yeah, the guy I showed you who has all the Metal Gear Solid videos. Yang.
Oh, yeah, the guy with the huge breakdown.
Yeah. This guy is really good. If we had the time, this is the kind of shit we would be making about Metal Gear Solid, but instead we're going to yell at each other in microphones about it.
This guy, we'll put it this way. This guy made an hour and 50-minute long breakdown of the trailers of Metal Gear Solid 5.
5-minute long trailer that came out at E3. He broke down for an hour and 30 minutes.
It was longer than that. It was at least an hour and 40, I know.
It was up there. And then on top,
and he stayed relevant the entire fucking time. There was new information throughout the entire thing, and it was awesome.
And he has one video that is really good if you just don't have any idea what has come out about Metal Gear Solid 5, all the information out there. He has one that is a preview compilation. It's every single bit of information that has come out about Metal Gear Solid 5. He has it in this video, completely set up and perfectly executed. And it's like, got a video, but you can actually just listen to this thing and get all the information that he has. Because there's not a point where he sits there and is quiet while a video plays. Yeah. He is talking the entire time.
Yeah, it's the most relevant breakdown I've ever seen about anything.
Right,
ever.
And it's the kind of stuff you can pick up on if you're just into Metal Gear Solid and lore and theory crafting and everything. You probably have thought some of the same things before, but he puts them onto the screen and onto paper so that you can kind of just get it.
Oh yeah, there's several things too that I didn't even consider.
Right. So this guy has been doing these videos for the leading up to the release. He's doing a video a day. It just breaks down one little piece of the lead up to the announcement, like just the history of Metal Gear Solid 5 as we know it.
Have we subscribed to him on our YouTube?
I have done it on mine, but I haven't done it on the SOGOpod.
Yeah, do it on the SOGOpod one. That way we can, this guy deserves it.
So, he published a video yesterday that wasn't part of this retrospective thing, a countdown. It was just, as GameSpot basically confirmed that there are 2 more maps than we thought they were going to be in the game. So as of this point, we are only aware, when it comes to the big open world maps, of there being Afghanistan and Africa.
Yeah.
The generic country of Africa. It's a piece of Africa. I know that the actual place that it is in Africa has been confirmed, but it is, when we're just talking about what is, it's Africa. It's Afghanistan and Africa. And then, there's also the Cyprus hospital, which is where the game starts in.
Yeah.
That has been obviously confirmed. So, but whether or not that's an actual map or just that one area that you're in for the beginning of the game has not really been confirmed. But everybody and their damn brother has been speculating for a long time. There's got to be more. Not that there isn't enough already, you know? Like, these fucking maps are huge. Like, apparently the game contains 200 times the size of Ground Zeroes in map. Which is ridiculous. Ground Zeroes map is still pretty huge. It feels small if you play it a lot, but when you just stand on the cliff and look over, you're like, shit.
There's a lot of area.
I gotta go from here to over there and then over here without getting caught. It's fucking crazy. Now imagine that 200 times over
We'll put this in the way that people will understand. You played Splinter Cell. We know you did. You know you did, you little slut. You did. You did.
You whore.
So Ground Zeroes is about the size of your average Splinter Cell map, give or take.
Like, Ground Zeroes, like, Ground Zeroes is like 4 Splinter Cell maps. Like, it feels like each one of the major areas could be considered a Splinter Cell map, I think.
Yeah, maybe. But
I think, like, if you just took the admin building, that would be a Splinter Cell map. If you just took, like, around the helipad, that could be a Splinter Cell map. And then maybe the whole area with the refugee camps, that could be one.
Yeah.
Maybe prison would be included. Like, it's about maybe it's a good sized map though.
Yeah,
no doubt.
But for comparison's sake, we'll call it a Splinter Cell map.
Yeah,
200 Splinter Cell maps
in one open environment that you can do whatever the fuck you want. Now they've said it's 200 times that in map size in general for all the maps. Now somebody has said it was on Kind of Funny videos. It was a dude from GameSpot who basically said that
I just got that
Afghanistan
G-spot.
Basically said that Afghanistan was like 50 Ground Zero maps.
Jesus.
So if Afghanistan's 50, then when logically Africa's 50, where's the other 100? Right? So, I mean, unless the map's much bigger than he gave it credit for, but the way he said 50 in the thing made it sound like he was saying probably 50, which means like I might be over exaggerating, but it felt like 50.
Yeah.
So it could even
there could be
like
a lot of open world
30,
too,
you know. Right, there could just be, but there's a lot of open space. But if you're just talking about the entire, and you've seen the pictures of the map and how fucking big it is. Like, there is a poster that is coming with the collector's edition.
Which, fuck you, make more, assholes. I wanted one.
Well, I think it's actually pre-order day 1 edition. I'm sure you're going to get it.
I think if you pre-ordered, then you get.
I'm sure you're going to get the map if you pre-ordered.
But I want everything. I want that arm.
Yeah, no. You're not going to get the arm. You can get it after the fact and just buy the arm separately. Some asshole will have it up on eBay.
Yeah, I'm seriously considering getting my day 1, GameStop edition, and then going separately on eBay and getting a collector's edition,
right?
And then the PC one, because I'm an asshole.
I know I'm definitely just going to go ahead and pre-order the PC one so I can have it preloaded before it goes live, and just the moment it goes live on midnight, I play like an hour of it.
You got to go dark like a week before.
Yeah, I'm going to go dark. I'm basically not going to read any reviews of the game. I already know that's confirmed.
Oh, yeah.
I know the day the game comes out, because you're going to go ahead and play it, I'm not going to be on Facebook. I'm not going to be on Twitter.
I'm going to be sending you shit.
I'm going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I will not get any. I will go on airplane mode. I don't care. I will download all my podcasts for the day from 3 years ago, and nobody will know. I'm going completely dark.
I'm going to retroactively upload and change the date on a podcast.
It's just going to be you saying, Solid Snake is a track. Over and over again. And just, like, I'm going to go completely dark until I get off work so that I can start playing and at least be able to say, holy shit. And then you'd be like, I know, right?
Right.
Wait till you get to know, shut the fuck up. Like...
No, seriously, dude. It's fucking holy shit.
And like and we've talked about this before. I'm kind of scared because of how much that they've said there isn't much in the way of story. That it's more of a game. It's a gameplay focused Metal Gear Solid game, which sounds insane. Not that the Metal Gear Solid gameplay is bad, but you come for it for the lore and for the story.
It seems to me like this being so open world and doing your own thing or whatever. the story is going to be there just as much as any other Metal Gear, but you're not in a mission. You're not in an area stuck. You're doing shit, and then as you progress at your own pace, then you get into story.
Right.
And then there's story here, story there. Here's 20 hours of doing whatever I want GTA style, just...
And here's a shitload of cassette tapes with some fucking lore that you didn't even realize.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think it'll be there, just in a different way.
Yeah, I think that's what they've kind of basically confirmed is that, like, it's not going to be 40-minute long cutscenes, but here's a 20-minute long cassette tape that you can just listen to while you're fucking running around in the desert. And... You know, Kojima said it's, you know, like ridiculous. 90% gameplay, 10% story, which is like, how does that split work, you know? Because if you look at every other Metal Gear Solid game, it's almost like 50% story, 50% game.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, Metal Gear Solid 1 is 5 hours of cutscenes with 11 hours of game, equaling, you know, 5 hours of cutscenes and 6 hours of a game. So, if... you expand that out, that's only like about 50%. So where does this mean this game is only 20 hours long and only 2 hours of that is a cutscene? And then the rest of the, you know, 18 hours is game? Or does that mean that the game is 100 hours long and there's still 10 hours of cutscenes, but the game is 100 hours long, so there's 90 hours of gameplay? Like, what does that mean? It's like, because there's been, like, there's a dude... Again, this is all stuff coming from this guy, from this preview compilation and everything that I watched, and from listening to some of the preview stuff myself. This dude talked to a dude who worked for Konami, and he'd been playing the game behind the scenes, and he said that I am about 50%. Like he said, he said he was 50 hours into the game, and he's only at 56% completion.
Fuck.
So you can extrapolate that to mean it would take 100 hours to complete the game 100%.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. I hope that there is 100 hours worth of gameplay in there. You know, I hope there isn't just 50 hours of game and then it's 50 hours of doing the same shit over and over again because you're trying to get 100. Yeah, because you're trying to get 100 hours.
What I want to see though is I want to see like you find the tape. And it's just a 2-hour long podcast of Kojima talking about the slap chop.
So that would be okay.
I'd listen.
I love that weird shit that I would totally expect from Hideo Kojima and from a Metal Gear Solid game.
You are going to wreck my nuts.
It's like, I love that Vince guy. Like, just shit like that would be...
Or even just like David Hayter talking.
Yeah, if it's just...
You know, I was going to do Snake.
You know, him doing a sit-down interview with Hideo Kojima about not being in the game would be an amazing thing in that game.
Or him, like, talking to Kiefer and them doing their own individual Snake voices back and forth.
All right, you're pretty good.
You're pretty good. You're pretty good, too.
Hey, I like Kiefer Sutherland's voice now. It's starting to grow on me after hearing some stuff. Apparently, like, he doesn't talk much during the cutscenes.
Yeah.
But there are cassette tapes out there are like 20 minutes long of just Kiefer and somebody else.
They had to get their money's worth with it.
Well, I'm assuming what it was is like, we want your face and we want your voice. That's it. And we just want your face. You just want you to express and emote a few things for us. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, now here's your lines. Yeah. You know, you're going to be reading against Robin Atkins Dow, and he's going to be doing Miller, and y'all are just going to do your thing. Here's your script. And it's just 20 minutes of them talking about, you know, rescuing African children or L'Enfance Terrible project, you know, like just that kind of shit. Just that would be... This is a perfect way to dose fucking Metal Gear lore into my brain.
Oh, yeah.
Is like, instead of me having to sit here and watch this cutscene, because I can't tell you how many times I've watched Metal Gear Solid cutscenes, how many times I've played all these Metal Gear Solid games, and I miss whole important chunks of story, because it's just the cutscenes are so fucking boring, and sometimes, you know, you start watching, you're like, It's going to be 40
It
minutes.
was that way bad in 2.
2 is the worst.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end. That's why, like, the end of 2, for me, is just a blur. Because it got so fucking weird and they're throwing so much shit at you, it's like, okay, I'm fucking lost. I'll keep playing the game because the game's fun.
I didn't get all the information from 2 until, like, my 5th playthrough.
Yeah. I didn't really figure out what was going on in 2 until I played 4.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad it was. Because 4 kind of did a better job of explaining, like,
really
the Patriots.
2 was really fucking
but
weird.
you needed 3 to make 4 make sense, because then you're like, okay, now I know who Zero is, and I know what part Zero, Paramedic, and Sigint play in the creation of the Patriots, and now I know because of 2 that the Patriots is now an AI system, and now I know why Solidus was not a bad guy. You know? Like, it's the fucking weirdest part to me about the Metal Gear Solid series, is like, there's no reason to think Solidus is a bad dude. There's no reason to think that Ocelot is a bad dude. Because on paper, their motives are pure as fuck.
Yeah.
We want to destroy this system that is controlling the world.
Yeah.
You know? They're going about it in fucked up terroristic means, but their motives are pure, you know?
Like, that just drives that's it's a beautiful thing, because throughout the Metal Gear series, it's always reiterated, especially in 3, like, your enemy today is your friend tomorrow.
Right.
One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter is actually a line from 2.
Right.
And it just drives the point home that enemies aren't permanent.
Right.
And this is very true in Metal Gear Solid. There is no permanent enemy.
Yeah.
Fucking Zero was your goddamn CO, and he was awesome. Love Zero.
Right.
He was a fucking funny guy.
He's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Like, all the shit he does in fucking 5. Just in Ground Zeroes alone, all this shit that he does. If you look at, like, the side op shit.
And now it's really culminating, because Snake has been the only constant good guy in one form or another. You know,
but now
Snake
we
or
know.
Big Boss. But now Big
Shit,
Boss is fucking murdering African children, and you're fucking playing him. You're the bad guy this time. Fuck you.
It's gonna be weird. That's the part that I'm gonna have, like,
you're your own worst enemy, literally.
I really just hope that he doesn't, like, fucking Hollywood ending. You know, I just do want to avoid a Hollywood ending as much as possible. I don't want it to be like, you know, because, like, there's no way you can do this story justice without just going straight for the way everybody thinks, which is Big Boss is literally the fucking worst. Like, that is going to be the only way the story ends. Because if it ends with Big Boss still being heroic and still being a hero, and knowing that it leads into Metal Gear and what happens in that game, and still having Big Boss be a hero,
I think he could find a way to make him a tragic hero.
There's a way to definitely make him like a fallen angel kind of type.
Very
of thing.
much like Original Boss.
Right. And I think that there's a way to do it, but the sheer fact that he was running outer heaven and also leading Foxhound at the same time was clearly conscious of the fact that he was lying to everybody and doing it with no remorse means that he's a fucking terrible person, you know? And, like, there has to be that. He has to basically. That's the big closure, really, is that he has to basically
express his motive.
Right. Kojima has to, and Kojima has to make it clear that Big Boss is indeed a villain. He is indeed a bad guy. Yeah. Because otherwise, you know what it does? It throws all of Solid Snake's story into fucking gray area. Like, where the fuck does Solid Snake stand in all this? Yeah. Because then if you think, well,
but then that could reiterate the point that you really don't know what you're fighting for.
Because really, if you look at it all the way up to this point, all we know is that Big Boss becomes this, you know, because
potentially bad guy to you.
But then if you look at it, it's like Solid Snake tries to stop Liquid. What does Liquid want to do? Destroy the Patriots. What you know, Solid Snake has to stop Solidus. What does Solidus want to do? Stop the Patriots. What, you know, all these things of like that Solid Snake is doing to stop the people who are trying to stop the people who are controlling the world.
And then even the Patriots, just what the Patriots want to do? Stabilize world economy.
Yeah, you know, if you look at it from the surface,
I mean, it's
it's all really
cold
about
logic
this,
form of
right.
Making humanity live. I mean,
and it's all based on this real flawed and perverted idea of what the boss wanted for the world. You know, that Zero had his idea that everyone is controlled and everything is perfectly in balance and there are no problems. We know everything that's going to happen because we control everything. And then Boss's interpretation is, there's war all the time and we're having fun, you know? And that's really the way that Big Boss interprets it, is that Outer Heaven is a place where the soldiers get to go to be soldiers and get appreciated for being soldiers because there's wars all the time.
Yeah. Because I have nowhere to go, really, and I can't get another job because really...
And I'm sterile and I don't have emotions.
War is all I have.
I'm cold and distant and I've never known the touch of a woman. I need to shoot things.
Well, there was that one.
There was that one. And we know what happened there. Like, it's a tragedy. It's going to be a fucking tragedy because there's no way, like I said, there's no way this story ends with Big Boss being like, I guess I'm a good guy, you know? Or like, it has to, the way it has to culminate is like I've said before.
Somehow or another, he's always going to be a bad guy to someone. But I think what they're going to do is leave it up to interpretation, like a real thinker ending, probably. Mm-hmm. And do you believe he's a good guy or do you believe he's a bad guy? This is where you choose your own politics and decide who is the good guy, if there is a good guy.
Right. And it's about how far they go into the future, I guess, from the time the game is set in. Because they have to reunite Big Boss with Colonel. You know, they have to reunite them because they met in Portable Ops, and that was the foundation for the Foxhound unit. But the re-establishment of Foxhound and the bringing in of Foxhound as an actual government agency and bringing Big Boss back into the United States government has to happen in this game, I think. I don't think this game can end with just...
You know it's going to be messed up? Colonel Zero.
Don't even want to think about it. I know what happens to Zero. You know, I know what happens to him, thank God. I don't want to know. Just how far it goes. One of the things I watched a video about the Day 1 edition stuff that they did, talking about all the stuff that came out for the video showing all the stuff from the Day 1 edition. And one of the things that caught my eye was they had the Cypress Hospital ward, is what it was called. And it was a picture of the fire guy, as everyone calls him.
Yeah.
And it just says, you know, Big Boss got hid. Apparently, so this is something I wasn't exactly completely aware of, but Big Boss was hidden in Cyprus by Ocelot after he fell into a coma. So that's interesting to know that Ocelot was the one that hit him, which is why Ocelot knows he's awake, or at least knows that he needs to rescue him, you know? So the interesting thing is it says on there when Big Boss wakes up that there are multiple groups who are going after him. Not that it's just Zoff or that it's just Cypher, that there are multiple groups. So it's probably Zoff, Cypher, and some third party that we're not even fucking aware of, which I think is what the Fire Guy is a part of and what Psycho Mantis is a part of. Because if you watch the trailer, they don't try to hurt Snake.
Yeah.
Neither the Fire Dude or Psycho Mantis try to actually hurt Snake. In fact, Psycho Mantis is killing people who are trying to hurt Snake. In that entire trailer, now if you go back and watch it, he stands in front of a bunch of dudes and picks up a helicopter and slices dudes with a helicopter. These are the same dudes who are going through the hallways and shooting random patients looking for Big Boss.
Yeah.
And he's throwing a helicopter at him. And then the ambulance crashes and he crawls out and Big Boss crawls out from under and there is standing Psycho Mantis. What does Psycho Mantis do? Giant fire whale crushes a helicopter. He doesn't choke fucking Snake with his mind powers. He makes a helicopter get ate by a whale.
He seems original.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like he's stopping the helicopter. It's like I'm
Free Willy.
But then you had the shot with the fire guy chasing Ocelot on the fire horse with
fire.
This game is going to be fucking insane.
It is pretty fucking ridiculous. You want to end it?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
All right. And don't forget, Metal Gear Sogo, our 48-hour live stream coming up on 12 o'clock midnight on the 28th of August.
You were going to probably be starting at 11:30, so as not to confuse people as to what 12 o'clock midnight on the 28th actually means.
11:30 p.m. on August the 28th.
Right. Because I realized that was going to be confusing to say midnight on the 28th. Okay, does that mean...
That is Eastern time.
Does that mean Thursday night? You know, it's Friday night, 11:30 p.m., 8/28/15, hashtag Metal Gear Saga. Go to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/SOGOpod.
We do have a short teaser video for our hype videos.
A teaser for the teaser.
Yep. So
that's what you do
nowadays.
So those
are coming. And yeah. So fucking go, faggot. Metal Gear. Metal Gear. Metal Gear. I'm hearing voices and voices, the tremble of